Hey Aurora, hope you enjoyed the weekend. So tomorrow, Tuesday, will be our astronomy post assessment. And today I figured we'd spend some time going over the study guide, which hopefully you have mostly done. So number one is talking about rotation and revolution, which are the two motions of the Earth. So first one here says Earth spinning on its tilted axis is known as, and for this one, you should have entered rotation. Okay, so I just entered that in for you as well. So Earth spinning on its axis is rotation. As we move down, it says, what does Earth's rotation cause? You should mention more than one thing. Well, I think the important ones are definitely day and night. And sorry if I have some typo issues here, but I'm trying to move quickly as well. The sun appearing is the key word, to rise and set each day. And you can also include tides. Now, you might be thinking, what the heck does rotation have to do with tides? Well, if the Earth didn't rotate, our tides wouldn't change throughout the day being the key word there. So those are the main points for rotation. Earth going around the sun, well, that's the second motion. That's revolution. And it says, what are some things revolution can cause? Well, definitely we want to mention our year. And then also another important thing are the seasons that the revolution kind of caused, because the seasons happen throughout the year, not throughout the day. Remember, day is rotation. Now, we got a bunch of stuff with seasons. So what causes seasons on Earth? Well, we definitely need to mention the tilt of the Earth's axis. That's a big piece. And also Earth's revolution caused the seasons to change throughout the year. So tilt of the axis and the revolution. What would have to happen to have no longer have seasons? Well, if the tilt causes the seasons, then basically no tilt would be the answer. What would have to happen to have even hotter summers and colder winters? That would basically mean more extreme seasons. So we would have to increase the tilt. If we decrease the tilt, then we would have cooler summers, and winters would also not be the same as well. But if we increase it, it basically intensifies them. New Jersey is in the, I'm going to put an NH for Northern Hemisphere. When it's summer in New Jersey, the Northern Hemisphere is tilted toward the sun. And when it's winter, the Northern Hemisphere is tilted away from the sun. Okay, I don't know why. Let's see, it's tilted away from the sun. Okay, remember the tilt does not change. It's always 23.5 degrees. It just depends on which hemisphere is tilted towards or away from the sun. Why are we able to see the moon from Earth? Well, the sun hits the moon and reflects back to Earth. So basically, sunlight allows us to see the moon. Why do we always see the same side? Oh, this is often a tricky one. This is because of something called synchronous rotation. So basically, the moon rotates and revolves at the same speed. And another word for speed is rate. So it takes about 27.3 days to rotate and revolve, which makes that same side always lock in and face us. So it's that synchronous rotation. What do all planets, dwarf planets, asteroids, and comets have in common? Well, there's a bunch of stuff they have in common, but the most important one here is they all revolve around the sun in an elliptical orbit. So they all don't take the same amount of time, but they all do revolve around the sun in a certain amount of time. So that's the main thing they have in common. So that's, again, planets, dwarf planets, asteroids, and comets all do that in a certain amount of time. Of course, they're all objects. They're all in the solar system. But that going around the sun in an elliptical oval orbit is the most important thing for this one. What two factors cause high and low tides? Well, you definitely got moon's gravity, which we learned about last week. And then for those tides to change, you also have to include Earth's Oh, sorry. Earth's rotation. Okay, so they both play a factor in the tides. Gravity as a force that attracts all objects. What two factors determine or influence the gravity between two objects? Well, you definitely have mass. And let's not use the word size. Mass is a better word. And how does it affect it? Well, more mass equals more gravity. Basically, the bigger you are, the more gravity you have. And the second factor, distance. So basically, more distance between objects equals less gravity. Okay, so the farther things are, the less gravity they have. This is why the moon is controlled by the Earth and not the sun. Which object has the most mass in our solar system? Well, it's the biggest one, and life depends on it. That's the sun. Which planet? Again, the biggest planet, that would be Jupiter. Which object has the most gravity? Well, if it's the biggest, it has to have the most, so it's the sun again. Which planet has the most? Jupiter has the most. During a blank eclipse, so now we're on eclipses. So during a blank eclipse, the Earth casts a shadow on the moon. If the Earth is shadowing out the moon, that is a lunar eclipse. And the moon phase has to be full, which means that you have the sun, you got the Earth, and then you have the moon on the outside, and that Earth shadow's hitting the moon. Remember, eclipses have to happen during a straight line moon phase. Now, during a blank eclipse, the moon casts a shadow on the Earth. So during a solar eclipse, the moon casts a shadow on the Earth, and the moon phase is now new moon. Okay, so they're in a straight line again, but now you have the sun, you got the moon in the middle, and you got the Earth on the outside, so the moon's casting a shadow on the Earth. Put in order from smallest to largest. Well, that would be, I'm not going to even write this one, but the smallest one would be the moon. Okay, the middle object would be the Earth, and the largest would be the sun. All right, so that's basically the study guide for you. We've gone over the entire thing. You can now use this to study if you need to, or go back to your original that hopefully you looked at and made some corrections if you needed to. There's also there's a Kahoot, sorry, I was thinking of that word there for a minute, that is also posted. I reposted it today again, you can use to practice. You can have somebody quiz you on this, or just repeatedly watch the video to kind of get these ideas in your head. Don't hesitate to contact me if you have any questions in particular, and we'll prepare for tomorrow's post-assessment, and then we'll slowly get into weather probably middle of the week. All right, so talk to you soon, and again, reach out if you have any concerns, and I hope all is going well.